We're based just outside Bristol, seaside town called Clevedon. Client base is predominantly owner-managed SMEs. We have about 200 business clients, a little under 300 total clients, I would say. We started the business back in 2007, me on my own. I trained predominantly in small practice, qualified ACCA with a small practice in Bristol, and a few years later decided that I wanted to my next adventure. So I naively ventured out and started my own practice. Yeah, a lot of hard work. I guess that goes back to the reason I started up in the first place. I mean, I was lucky enough to work in some great small practices. I felt was that I had an urge to do something slightly different. I wanted to be able to spend as much time with individual clients as I wanted. I felt they needed. I felt a little bit constrained where I worked previously. So I still got clients that signed up back in 2007. In fact, most of the clients from my early days, those that haven't retired or sold their businesses, are still with me. So client retention has been really strong throughout. 2020 was a huge challenge for everybody. In accountancy, how it manifested was an overnight doubling of the workload. Not so much in a compliance function, really. I mean, clearly the furlough scheme was huge additional challenge in terms of resourcing and what have you. But really, the whole thing was an education process with clients. It was reacting to all of the government measures and making sure the clients had all been spoken to and understood what was available to them, and making sure nobody fell through the gaps. And 2020 provided the opportunity to reconnect with a lot of clients I may not have spoken to so much over the years. You do a lot of work initially with clients when they join you, but it was good, and it's opened up, reinforced really my view that advisory services efficiently and working smart. How technology has changed things over time for us. For our business, it's represented fundamental change. The first business is to get into bed with Zero. So I remember attending their second conference in London, and it was, massive eye-opener for me. I'd already started experimenting with it just for my own practice, having been needled into trying it by a client for a couple of years. Picked it up for my own practice bookkeeping, loved it, could see all the potential that it offered, not just in terms of, practice my own business's bookkeeping, but in terms of all of the integrations and add-ons that were already available at the time, but the ones that were coming out that were still in early development, but all had huge potential to make life easier and quicker and smarter and for my clients, which we couldn't access the data from onto Zero as quickly as possible. Suddenly we had real-time access to their data. What that meant is we could provide a real-time service for clients. So a client came to me wanting to buy a new van, I could say, well, let's have a look at your data and see where you are and what you can afford and what have you. And those conversations previously, they could be had, but you were a long way from, you had to be a patient person to be able to have them, because you had to get the information first off to then have the conversation. So the delays and the cost and the effort involved were far greater than they suddenly were with Zero. To me, it ticked another box that's been quite a niggle for us over the years. We've had quite a lot of success in building our bookkeeping client base. So a lot of clients that we do bookkeeping for, there's a natural need sometimes for them to turn to us to provide further assistance with payment runs. The challenge there is, for me, predominantly is the security side of providing that service. So while we can be invited, or a member of my team can be invited as a user to the client's bank account, that opens up a relationship with the client that's a step beyond where I would normally like it to be. It's also a timely service to provide, and it's difficult to make that cost effective and commercial for clients. I'd like to play more golf. I'm excited about, clearly, life approaching some kind of normal. It's been a very, very difficult year for clients. It's been a very, very difficult year for staff. It's been a very, very difficult year for me running a business. I'm looking forward to less shocks and more certainty, and a recovery, hopefully, for my clients who are enjoying life more. I get a lot of job satisfaction out of providing some of the services that we provide, where I can get involved on a one-to-one basis with a client and add real value to their decision-making, present them with the information in a way that's useful to allow them to make decisions. Very satisfying, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're using tools and software, that takes a lot of the pain out of it and allows it to be fun.